way here in Talladega. It is Red Farmer. Indeed, John, the ageless one, Red Farmer, getting buckled up there. Over 725 career victories to his credit, running his final time as the last active member of the original Alabama gang here in Talladega. Way for the start of our ARCA Supercar Series action, the Poulan Pro 500. Let's take a look at our 42-car starting field, the die-hard starting grid. Front row, Charlie Glotzback, Charging Charlie, who's won 2 in a row here in the July event, hoping to pick up his first win here in May. Alongside him, the youngster, 26 years of age, Loy Allen Jr. from Raleigh, North Carolina. He set on the pole at Daytona back in February. Row 2, a couple of veteran drivers, young drivers, but veterans on the speedways. Jeff Purvis in the car number 1, and the second generation, Bobby Boucher. Yes, son of Jack Boucher, 3-time ARCA Series champion. Row 3. Ben Hess, 3 Superspeedway wins, including twice at Daytona. He brings a lot of experience to the Superspeedways. And Bill Venturini, the defending series champion outside of row 3. Row 4, T.W. Taylor, the registered pharmacist, and the 1991 Rookie of the Year, Curtis Payne. Back to row 5, Jeff McClure in the car number 89. Alongside him, Bobby Gerhardt. Watch him make a move early on. He'll be awfully strong. Bob Keselowski, former series champion, and Alan Pruitt starting 12. Row 7 and 8, Billy Thomas and Andy Hillenberg. Clifford Allison off a good run at Texas a few weeks ago, and Dale McDowell in outside of row 8. Row 9, Red Farmer and Kim Campbell. Row 10, Bobby Woods and Bobby Massey. Back in rows 11 and 12, Richie Petty, the nephew of Richard Petty, and watch for Jimmy Horton way back outside row 11 in that car number 32. David Elliott and David Simcoe in row 12. Row 13, Jerry Hill and Ron Frechette. Row 14, Keith Newbern and Billy Bigley Jr. Back to row 15 and 16, Brevac, Millsaps, Frank Kimball, the leading rookie candidate, and Robbie Coward starting 32nd. Row 17 and 18, Ricky Sanders, Clay Young, Bobby Gill, and Mark Gibson. Rows 19 and 20, Gary Bradbury, Alan Russell, Glenn Brewer, and Bob Dotter, the 3-time series champion. And back in row 21, Tom Sherrill and Craig Rubright. We have an in-car camera riding inside the Poulan Pro Chevrolet. That's the car number 32 of Jimmy Horton, won at Daytona. Horton at 2 times, won twice in a row this event in the 1990 and 91 series events here at Talladega. Pontiac safety car pulls away. We're getting set. 312 miles, 117 laps. That's 500 kilometers here at Talladega Superspeedway. Jerry Punch, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and John Kernan out hand to bring you exciting ARCA Supercar Series action. Challenge up front is coming out of turn 2. That's Glotzback and Loy Allen Jr. inside. Purvis now makes a move in the Phoenix Construction-sponsored Oldsmobile. That's Jeff Purvis out of Clarksville, Tennessee.
Well, Jerry, everybody was afraid that Charlie Glotzback might just take off and run off and leave him here on that first lap. He's dropping back.
Pair of Oldsmobiles. Purvis is the white car with the red number 1 on the side. That's the leader right behind him, Ben S. 3-time winner on Superspeedway competition at ARCA. He's running in second spot. Now rumbling out of the tri-oval, headed for the start-finish line. Purvis will lead lap number 1. The Glotzback now beginning to make a move. He's on the hunt on the outside. The Chevrolet Lumina, charging Charlie Glotzback. The Poulan Pro sponsored Floyd Garrett-owned machine. And Glotzback within a half a car length of Purvis.
And they're going to leave Ben Hess. Well, he's going to try to stay down on the inside. He needs to. Now he gets back up there in line. He could lose the draft in a hurry if he doesn't get in line with him.
That's T.W. Taylor, the car number 27 you see back there. He is in 4th and 5th place. The car number 2 of Loy Allen Jr. Watching the front 4 cars. They come through the 33-degree bankings in turns 3 and 4. They head for the cloud with 18 degrees of banking, 4,300 feet as they sweep 4 lanes wide through triangle, head to the start-finish line.
These 6 cars have broken away from the pack behind them. Of course, the last car in this lead draft, car number 21, is the car of Bobby Bowser.
6 cars in the lead draft, led by the Oldsmobile of Jeff Purvis. Now, Purvis finished second 2 years ago in the July race to Charlie Glotzback, who right now is in pursuit of him in second spot. So Purvis, Glotzback, then Ben Hess. Those 3 cars, nose to tail, first, second, and third.
Here's some good racing back in the pack.
Here's Jimmy Horton. He's the car number 32, right in the center of your picture, trying to move inside of the car number 16 of Roy Payne, and now going inside the Poulan Pro Chevrolet. Horton boxed in heavy traffic there back in the pack.
He doesn't know which car to follow to pick up the draft. They're running 4 wide as they come by the start-finish line. Now they get back down to 2 wide.
You heard Benny Parsons talking about the fact that they had downsized the restrictor plates for the V6 engine. There are 3 V6s in the field, and you're inside riding with Jimmy Horton, who is carrying one of those 3 V6s. They had a 1-inch plate at Daytona. They downsized it to a 31/32 inch plate here, so they lost a 32nd. But actually, they qualified with a 15/16 plate, and they had them a little more smaller. So now they've given them a little bit bigger plate back for the race, and we see Horton now beginning to make a move.
You can hear that V6 engine humming in the background, Jerry.
And if you're waiting to hear him let off, you've got a long wait.
Yeah, unless something happens in front of him, he'll just keep that foot to the floorboard. Can't afford to let off here at Talladega.
Moving to the inside of Roy Payne. Payne, of course, won the 2nd race of the year at Pensacola, Florida, back on March the 8th. Meanwhile, back up front, 6-car draft pulling away, led by Jeff Purvis, 33-year-old driver from Clarksville, Tennessee. The Phoenix Racing Oldsmobile, the James Finch-owned machine.
Here's Ben Hess making a move, going by Glotzback down on the inside. He needs some help there to go with him. Glotzback up on the outside, keeps his momentum up. He should be able to pull back out in front of Hess.
Look at T.W. Taylor, the car number 27. He has very limited speedway experience. He's run some NASCAR Sportsman Series events, ran at Daytona, finished 23rd down there, but very impressive here in the early laps at Talladega. We're in the early laps at Talladega Superspeedway for the ARCA Poulan Pro 500. Back with more racing after this. Facility. Jeff Purvis still showing the way, took the lead coming out of turn 2 on the very first lap of this race. Remember, 117 laps comprised this 312-mile, 500-kilometer event. Now on the inside, down the backstretch, making a move, Ben Hess in the car number 37, the Jim Pacuzza on Target Expediting Oldsmobile. That's the black white number car number 37, squeezing around a slower car on the inside. And right behind him, T.W. Taylor and Loy Allen Jr. as those 3 cars try to draft by.
And I'm not sure that Hess has had the help that he needs down there on that inside, Jerry, although T.W. Taylor is right behind him there, but it's tough to go on the inside with 2 cars when you got 4 cars up on the outside running into high lane.
That car number 2, Loy Allen Jr., only in his 3rd start in ARCA competition. In fact, he sat on the pole at Daytona, the pole at Texas, the front row here, outside front row, so he's been pretty impressive in 3 starts. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Jerry, even more impressively, I like to call Loy the man with the plan. His strategy in these races as a race car driver, yeah, he would like to win, but he's using his head. He says his main objective today is to go to drafting you at Talladega, if you will. What he wants to do is hook up with someone who has a lot of experience, such as Charlie Glotzback. Follow him and learn how to draft through traffic. Loy says he will be satisfied with a good finish today, and right now he looks like he's on his way as he makes a move down low on Ben Hess.
Trying to pull it off with a stripe. He cannot quite do it, losing some of the draft. There's 3 wide. You see Jimmy Horton and Bill Venturini. Horton, the 32 car, Venturini, the white and blue number car number 25. They are battling back there for 9th and 10th spots. So Jimmy Horton, as you heard Benny Parsons say, he qualified way back in 22nd spot and now being shown just cracking the top 10 in 9th position.
Well, he's up to 8th now, Jerry, so he's gradually coming on up there, but that pack of cars that we're looking at here has dropped back perhaps 4 or 5 seconds behind the lead pack of 6 cars.
Horton to the right of your screen. See Venturini up high. Car number 89, that's Jeff McClure. He's trying to move around.
So Gary, right now, they are a little over 10 seconds behind the lead pack of 6 cars. The 6 cars up front have sort of singled out and running in a straight line, where these cars are really battling back there for positions, and that makes a lot of difference.
Not the quick way around Talladega Superspeedway. Got to have a dance partner. Got to be able to use that draft. Now Venturini realizing that he can help himself a little bit, pulling in behind Jimmy Horton as Horton is drafting by on Jeff McClure. McClure been running intermittently in the Busch Grand National Series for the last few years. 25 years of age out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. Meanwhile, back up front, two cars trying to pull away and settle in between themselves. That's Jeff Purvis in the car number 1, and right behind him, the efforts of Ben Hess. Charlie Rockback checked that. Those cars are black and white normal, and they come by so quickly. One of the good things about the speed here at Talladega, they come whipping by so quickly. That is Charging Charlie Rockback. That is a car that is owned by Floyd Garrett. It's one of the cars being prepared by Richard Childress Racing, of course, who owns and prepares the cars for Dale Earnhardt.
And of course, sponsored in this event by Poulan Pro. And I think Charlie has sensed what's going on there with Purvis. He knows Purvis has a fast race car, and he said, hey, if we can hook up together here, we might be able to pull away from this bank of cars back there. And that's exactly what they'd like to do as they begin to lap those cars. And this is what I talked about, Jerry, at the top of the show. They started lapping cars pretty early, and look how quickly they come up on them. But this is a wide racetrack, so as long as they keep their eyes open, watch the moves of the cars in front of them, they can get on through with no problem. Don't even have to lift the accelerator.
Car number 1, that's Jeff Purvis, only his second ARCA start in 1992. Started 6th at Daytona, had a good qualifying effort, broke the engine down there, did not get to finish that event. There's Bobby Boucher, car number 21. Those cars being shown back in 3rd and 4th position. Boucher on the move.
Yeah, he was in 6th place early in the race. Now he has moved up to the 3rd position. Ben Hess figuring, well, hey, Boucher has a pretty fast car. Maybe if I can get in line with him. Hess had tried to make some moves up front there. Cost him a couple of positions, but now he said, let's get in line and catch those top 2 cars if we possibly can.
Ben Hess running in 4th place. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Ned, you're exactly right. Just talked to crew chief Lee Leslie. He says if Ben realizes Bobby Boucher does have a fast car, they got it at this stage of the race. They have to quit racing each other, because if they continue to race side by side and try and trade back and forth, what'll happen is Glotzback and Purvis will pull away. So look for Boucher and Hess to hook up and try and chase down the front 2.
That's exactly what they're going to try to do here, and they're closing somewhat. Boucher is coming in a hurry. He's the car in the middle of your screen. The Ford Thunderbird, and he has a Robert Yates engine in that car. Here's Dale McDowell slowing down.
Yeah, it's some kind of a problem with that 11 car, Benny.
He put his front straightaway by us and let out a puff of smoke, and he backed off the gasoline. So I would imagine he's shrewd today. He'll bring the car in the pit. He'll check it over. It looks pretty strong to me.
Yeah, you can see a little smoke coming from it.
That's the Seal Tech Clint Folsom owned car, the Dover cylinder head machine. Dale McDowell, an impressive young driver. He's one of the V6s here in the field today out of Chickamauga, Georgia. In that Dover cylinder head Buick, it looks like he will call it a day. Single file, high-speed drafting up front at Talladega. We are in the early laps here at Talladega Superspeedway in the ARCA Poulan Pro 500. Back with more green flag racing after this. Back at the world's fastest stock car facility here in Talladega, Alabama. Glad to have you with us for ARCA SuperCar Series racing action. It's a Chevrolet, an Oldsmobile up front. Car number 28, the veteran Sergeant Charlie Glotzback. Behind him, Jeff Purvis.
And not too far behind them is Ben Hess in the car number 37. And Bobby Bowser right on the back bunker of Hess. That's the 4th place, and then P.W. Taylor. Roy Allen still running 6th to back that lead pack.
Here's a battle for 16th and 17th spot. The car number 16, Roy Payne, who picked up his first win earlier in the year back in March on the short track. And on the outside, that's Clifford Allison driving a Buick. Payne, the STP Prestone Rookie of the Year at ARCA last year. We mentioned that he won back on March 8th at Pensacola, Florida in the Southern 300. His first ever ARCA win. Leading by Craig Goodrich, the Budweiser machine on the inside.
That pack of cars, Jerry, is not too far in front of the leaders. The leaders are coming up to the lap, and the average speed is 192.921 miles an hour. That is almost as fast as Charlie Glotzback, just over 193 to win the pole.
Either place, the pace would be very quick. You see these two cars there battling between themselves. for 16th and 17th spot, just past the 30-lap mark. And here are the leaders beginning to move in. That's David Simcoe, the car number 51, and Glotzback is going by. Ricky Sanders, the 18. Here's car number 77, they're sliding by.
Jerry, they were told in the driver's meeting, hey, when you see the leaders coming up, stay in your line. But if you're on the outside or the inside, wherever you are, stay there. And the leaders look far enough ahead and say, okay, he's running in this line. And then he can choose which side he wants to go on.
That's Richie Petty in the blue and white machine.
He's currently being shown in 15th position, Jerry. So, boy, they're putting a lap on a lot of good race cars here before they make their first pit stop.
Glotzback literally inhales the Roy Payne machine, the Chevrolet. Now goes to the outside of Clifford Allison. Richie Petty now moves to the inside in his Pontiac. Yes, he's the son of Maurice Petty and the nephew of King Richard.
Boy, they got to look up and say, hey, we've only run about 34 laps. Where did these guys come from? They've been sitting there running wide open, running Richie Petty and that group of cars, running good laps. But all of a sudden, here the leaders are blowing by them and pulling away.
Here's a couple other cars that aren't that far up. In front of the leaders, here is Bill Venturini and Charlie Glotzback. Bill Venturini and Jimmy Horton.
Caution is out, Jerry. Caution is on the track. Debris on the racetrack.
See that waving by Jimmy Horton? That's a courtesy of the drivers. Wave back and forth in the mirrors to the drivers behind them who are concentrating on the speed and the draft. And you see the Rain-X car in front of Bill Venturini waving likewise.
So you can see that the driver behind you can see that. We were looking right through Horton's car up there to Bill Venturini, and you can see his hand waving very clearly.
That's one of the reasons a number of the sanctioning bodies like NASCAR and ARCA don't allow you to tint those windshields any more than they do. They want you to be able to see through the windshields of the cars in front of you to look for trouble and also be able to see those hand signals.
Well, this caution will be a break for this group of cars. They were not too far from being lapped. So that'll let them catch up now and stay in the lead lap and perhaps catch on to the lead draft if they can make good pit stops.
First caution flag of the day coming out on lap 35 here in Talladega for debris on the racetrack.
They probably will be making pit stops, Jerry. They were not too far, maybe 15 laps or so from making their first pit stops. I guess the pits were closed that time around, so they'll come by to get the caution, pace car, pick them up, and then the pits will be open the next time.
Most of the crews were figuring they would have to make 2 stops for fuel. They could go about 50 laps on their first fuel stop, but they would have to make 2 stops, so possibly next time by they will be in for their first stop of the day here at Talladega. Back with more from the Superspeedway after this. Due to debris on the speedway, so the leaders now make their way down pit road. Let's check into the pits with Benny Parson.
Jerry, I'm down in Bobby Bowser's pit. Oh, he stopped at the wrong pit. He stopped at the wrong pit. Now he comes on down to his pit. He stops. Mike Powell they borrowed him from the Maxwell House team, Sterling Moss team, to put gas in. Everyone else working on the car is a Bowser. And Charlie Glotzback is in his pit with John Kernan.
Steven Smith swings the jack around. Cecil Gordon has the lug nuts off on the left side as you see a mixture of guys from Rusty Wallace's, Dale Earnhardt's, and also Bill Elliott's crew. Now Charlie's come in and gotten on the front lug wrench on the air hose. We'll have to see if that makes a problem. Out comes Bowser out of the pits. Just a little bit of a problem there. They get over the other air hose. Now they've got to get that away. Charlie has to back up. He's going to run over the air hose, and finally he will get out of the pits. A very slow pit stop for Charlie Glotzback.
And Ben Hess was the guy that came out first, Jerry. Bobby Bowser made a good pit stop and came out, but Ben Hess beat him out.
Good pit stop for Ben Hess and the crew. Lee Leslie, the crew chief there on the Target Expediting Oldsmobile. Looking at Charlie Glotzback, who's had one of the strongest cars early on. Ole Miss in the pits. We'll be back to Talladega with more after this. Stay with us. Kilometer event. After 38 of 117 laps, 69 remain. Ben Hess is our leader. Bobby Bowser in second spot. Loy Allen Jr. third. T.W. Taylor and Bill Venturini rounding out the top 5. 6 through 10, Charlie Glotzback after pit stops now. Jimmy Horton, Jeff McClure, Bobby Gerhart, and Andy Hillenberg driving the car owned by Kenny Schrader.
And the fans are wondering where Jeff Purvis, who was leading this race not too long ago, he was running second to Glotzback when the caution came out. Well, he had a slower pit stop, so he's back in the field, still in the lead lap.
I mentioned Ben Hess, Ben Hess did not change tires. He came in for fuel only, and I think that's what he said he was going to do all day. Just a couple of stops for fuel and try to win this thing by staying up front. Pace car pulls away. We're getting set for more green flag racing.
The debris, the reason for this caution was off the car 04 of Bobby Woods, the Las Vegas Speedway car. He blew a tire.
From Corrupt about it. Ben Hess pulls away. Bobby Boucher in the car number 21. Boucher, remember, has never won on a super speedway. His biggest win at ARCA. He has 6 of them, by the way, coming on the 1 mile dirt up in Springfield, Illinois.
All these cars from the lead lap trying to position themselves, get in line with the leaders, and try to draft away from those behind you. There's Loy Allen Jr. running in 3rd place. Good run for him, Jerry. He's driven a good race so far.
He really has. He ran set on the pole in Daytona with very limited, in fact, no experience on a super speedway. Did not lead a lap there. Then he went to Texas, set on the pole, where he led 20 laps. And here he sits on the outside front row and is continuing to run in the lead draft. So this young man is learning in a hurry.
Yes, he is. T.W. Taylor doing a good job also with limited experience in this division. But here is the car number 32 of Jimmy Horton, and who's that?
89. That's Jeff McClure, the Harrisburg, North Carolina driver. Behind Horton is Bobby Gerhardt. That's Andy Hillenberg, the car number 58 to the right of your screen, the white and red Newman car.
Yeah, we're wondering if Horton, now that he got that break and got the caution, if he would be able to pick up the draft and with the leaders, but right now he's having a tough time staying up there as we got this battle here for 3rd position.
Looks like Charlie Glotzback has come to the front in a hurry. He's taken the 3rd spot away from Loy Allen. He will try to move around the outside of Bobby Boucher and does it into turn 1.
Boy, he has a strong car, Jerry. Bowser's going to get caught down there and be pinched off a little bit coming off of that turn. Glotzback should be able to just drive on away, although Allen coming up there could help Bowser a little bit, but he was pretty low on the racetrack. Now he gets behind him. Now he decides to go behind Glotzback. He said Glotzback is going to be the one to follow going into turn 3. So we'll see.
Charlie Glotzback on the outside of the track. Bobby Boucher on the bottom.
That's pretty impressive that he stays there by himself without the help of another car. Bowser staying down there. I think it'll eventually catch up with him, though. And those cars are lined up on the outside.
Got a lot of muscle in that car number 21, the Ford Thunderbird. Then again, he's got a Robert Yates engine in that, so that may explain some of it. But now, as you said, Ned, the draft does take its toll, and Boucher will slide back into the 4th spot.
Yeah, he needs to get in line. T.W. Taylor going by on the outside. Is this Horton coming up on the outside? Yes, it is. So he is with that lead draft.
That's Horton, Venturini, and company coming, but meanwhile, it looks like Charlie Glotzback has whipped around. Ben Hess to take the lead.
And could be that those new tires, he put on 4 tires, Hess didn't take any. And in the turns, I believe it's making a difference, Jerry.
Now a challenge for 2nd spot. Loy Allen Jr. on the inside, and they come out of turn 4.
We have 14 cars in the lead lap. I believe all 14 of them are running in this lead pack.
Inside riding now with Jimmy Horton at over 190 miles an hour. The Poulan Pro Chevrolet Lumina. Horton, one of the cars carrying the V6 engine. There are only 2 left in the field, Horton and Red Farmer.
And Farmer's being shown now in the 14th position at the back of this lead pack.
Horton being shown in 6th spot. That's T.W. Taylor, the car number 27 to his left, just in front of him in 5th.
Yeah, now Horton has moved up to 4th. Getting in that outside lane.
Trying to make a move on the outside of the car number 27 is Horton, and he makes it work. Riding now along with the draft of Ben Hess.
Yeah, he got Hess to move out there with him, and that worked very well for him once he pulled out there. Was able to pick up some RPM with that V6 engine and staying right with them. Boy, what a difference it makes if you, who you're running with on the racetrack. That depends on how fast you're going to run. Horton was running wide open, but was losing perhaps a second to lap before this caution came out. Now he's with those fast cars and can run right with them.
Cars moving around. Car number 8 is Bob Donner, the former 3-time series champion. His car running up to speed on the inside of the track. Charlie Glotzbach, your leader. The first car there coming at you. Running second is Van Hess. Oldsmobile. Third is Jimmy Horton. Chevrolet. Fourth, another Chevrolet of Bill Venturini. Top of the show, you heard Benny Parsons tell you that Horton not really happy with the downsizing of the restrictor plate on the V6 engines. But Bob Loga, who's president of ARCA, said, I think this guy's a whole lot stronger than what we saw in qualifying. And I think Loga was correct.
He certainly is running good right now. That's all he wanted was a break to get up there to pick up their ground. Here's Bowser now down on the inside. He went back pretty far. He's still running down on that inside. He's going to be able to move on by the car number 58, Andy Hillenberg.
Bobby Bowser, car number 21, Hillenberg, the white car behind him, 58. Behind them, Jeff McClure. Also back there. Had a good run at Daytona driving for Kenny Schrader, the Timmy Coa prepared car. These three cars are running together. The car number 1, our early leader, that's Jeff Purvis. Right behind him, the defending series champion, Bill Venturini. The bright yellow car, the Renix.
Well, look at him, jockey for position back there, trying to pick up the right car to draft. And I'm sure the fans wonder, I've had a lot of fans ask me, as you see Purvis really draft by on the inside. Can you really make sudden moves with these cars running almost 200 miles an hour? We just saw it, and they stuck. But it's a little different now. I remember reading somewhere one time that a 40-model Ford running 100 miles an hour, if you get one of those, get a hill street that's going to go 100 miles an hour, only weighed 500 pounds. Well, that car was high off the ground. These cars, you know, they have air dams in front, they have the spoilers on the rear, which are pushing down, so that lets them move around the way they do on the track.
3 cars having pulled away, but the battle back in the pack for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. You're taking a look there as the cars now scattering down off of turn 2. Jimmy Horton, Bill Venturini, Jeff Purvis, and a host of others trying to settle it back 5th through 10th. Back at Talladega after this. Flag of the day, our top 10, Charlie Glotzbach, the leader, Ben Hess in 2nd spot, Jeff Purvis 3rd, Bobby Bowsher, and T.W. Taylor 4th and 5th. 6th through 10, Andy Hillenberg, Bill Venturini, Loy Allen Jr., Kim Campbell, and Red Farmer. You may be asking, where is the car number 32 of Jimmy Horton? Well, let's show you what happened to Horton just moments ago. He's the yellow car in the middle of your screen.
And all of a sudden, Jerry, the back end just breaks loose as he goes into turn 3 and backs into the wall hard. The others are able to get by down on the inside, so no other car involved.
Now from the in-car camera, the Poulan Pro in-car camera, watch him. He looks to be running just fine, and suddenly the car begins to slip.
Yeah, it just goes in there behind Ben Hess, and all of a sudden the back end just goes around.
Oncoming traffic, that's got to be a little scary. Now listen to what he was hearing in the car as we go back to the in-car camera real time, and we'll listen to what Jimmy Horton heard as he went into turn 3.
Yeah, it was almost as if the engine locked up when he went in there, but I don't know. It's sort of strange. She sure went around in a hurry for it. He could have had a tire go down or cut one or something of that nature. We're about to go back to the green flag racing.
I'm sure Benny Parsons or John Colonel will be trying to round up Jimmy Horton after he's been checked out at the medical center, and we can find out what the problem actually was. Back to green here, lap 56, and Charlie Glotzbach, who's been on the pole here at a speed over 193 miles an hour, 193.045, trying to pick up his 3rd win at Talladega. In fact, Benny Parsons has caught up with Jimmy Horton. Let's check in quickly with Benny Parsons.
Jimmy, they checked you out in the hospital. You feel okay?
Yeah, I'll be hit square.
What happened?
Don't really know. Poulan Pro Chevrolet was running real good, and we just wanted to sit there and kind of just ride, and it just snapped loose on me. I don't know whether it hit something on the racetrack, a tire going down. We don't know. It's just one of them things.
Were all the tires, was tires flat when the car came to a stop, or did you look?
I didn't look at the right side. The left side was still up, but we'll see when we get back what happened. If not, I just lost it.
Could you have won from back there with that V6? Could you have won with the V6?
No, I don't think so. I think they finally killed the V6 with ARCA. And, you know, what can I say? Poulan Pro Chevrolet was going to do the best it could, and hopefully we're going to finish second, but I didn't have nothing for Charlie.
Jerry, he seems to be okay.
Well, that's good news. Jimmy Horton taking one heck of a lick. You heard that impact from inside the in-car camera there just moments ago.
Here's Jeff Purvis now moving up on the outside of Ben Hess, trying to take over second place. Remember, Purvis had a slow pit stop and was way back in the field before that last caution, or after the last caution. Now he is back up front, battling again for second.
This side-by-side racing for second, third, fourth, and fifth gives Lotzback a little bit of a break to pull away. He had about a 3-car length advantage, and you see Purvis now waving at T.W. Taylor, say, stay in line, stay in line. We're going to draft by as Ben Hess, and you and I will go catch Charlie.
Well, but look at Bowser down on the inside. He has a different idea. He wants to make it 3 deep.
Whoa! Bowser just about loses control, gathers it back in on the bottom of the racetrack, but he loses some momentum. You see T.W. Taylor making a run on the outside.
Yeah, I think he had to back off just a little bit. He and Ben Hess actually made contact, Jerry, as they went into that turn. You see that on a half-mile track, but a 2.66-mile track, well, you don't much of it.
Back in the pack, you're taking a look at the car number 1. Jeff Purvis, T.W. Taylor, Bobby Bowsher, and Ben Hess. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Glad to have you with us here at Talladega Superspeedway. Jerry Punch, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and John Cooley on hand for exciting ARCA Supercar Series racing action.
There's still 12 cars in the lead lap, and one of those during the caution period when Jimmy Horton had his problems as Purvis tries to go for the lead, but he won't do it this time. Bobby Gearhart went behind the wall, Jerry, so he is out of the race. He was one of the cars on the lead lap.
Tough break for the Lebanon, Pennsylvania driver on the Omar Landis Chevrolet. Here's Bowsher once again making a move inside of Ben Hess. He falls back in line.
We understand that Bobby Gearhart had a bursted radiator, and that's what put him out of the race. And it perhaps was from debris from the crash of Jimmy Horton that put him out of the race.
Charlie Lotzback, who set on the pole here today for the 4th time in his last 5 Talladega ARCA events, dating back to May of 1990. Remember, Lotzback won the 500-kilometer event last July, and also in July of 1990, so he is 2 for 2 in the July events. He didn't race last May here, didn't have a car prepared or ready for him, didn't have the Florida Garrett machine ready. One car that is ready is Ben Hess, and that number 37 as they make it 3 wide almost, as Hess is trying to get a little drafting help from Bobby Bowsher.
Yeah, he's wanting Bowser to go with him down on that inside, and it looks like Bowser might help. Bowser's been running down on the inside most of the time. Now Taylor goes very high. That opens the door for Hess to go on by and for Bobby Bowser to come by down on the inside. So now Hess moves up to 3rd, Bowser to 4th, T.W. Taylor drops back to 5th.
Leaders coming at you at over 194 miles an hour. Averaging a little over 192. We've had 2 caution flags here early on. Just past the halfway mark. 60 laps being shown of 117, which comprises 500-kilometer event sponsored by the Poulan Pro folks.
That white car we saw behind T.W. Taylor. Taylor driving the blue number 27 is Andy Hillenberg. He's doing a great job here today. Running in 6th position. Now Hess moves to the inside. All of a sudden, something happened to his car. Bobby Bowser goes behind Hess and slows down. Everybody else goes by on the outside. So Ben Hess and the car number 37 starting 4th in the Target Expediting Oldsmobile headed for the pits, it looks like.
Lee Leslie will be standing by on that Jim Spicuzza-owned machine as Hess begins to make his way toward him. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Darren, I talked with Lee Leslie, a very dejected look on his face. I asked him what was wrong with Ben. He said, I think something broke in the motor. Ben will not even pull into his pits. Instead, he makes a hard left-hand turn and takes it back to the garage area.
Well, that puts us down now to only 11 cars in the lead lap. There is the lead man. Charlie Lotzback.
Sergeant Charlie, they call him. Jeff Purvis right behind him. Bobby Bowsher, no surprise at all that Bowsher is up there. After running so well at Daytona, finishing second at Daytona the past 2 years in the season-opening ARCA 200.
Here, the Poulan Pro folks, of course, sponsors this race. They decided they want to get a little bit deeper involved, so they picked up Charlie Lotzback and Jimmy Horton, 2 good cars here for this race. So it's good to see him get a little deeper in front.
Our AutoZone race summary leader currently Charlie Glotzback has led 18 of the 59 laps. There have been 2 cautions for 9 laps. 3 different leaders, 4 lead changes, and the average speed dropping down to 160.46 miles per hour. Lap leaders have been Jeff Purvis, Charlie Glotzback, and Ben Hess. Those 3 drivers having...
And Jerry, we have a caution right now. There's a crash over in turn... Well, let's see. Is that turn 3? Maybe it's turn 4 as you come off the turn. You can't see the car behind the bank there, but the caution is on the speedway.
Let's take a look, see if we can see. There is the caution flag from one of the officials being waved as the cars come by. Under caution. Look once again. This is Bob Brevac, car number 34, and he comes into contact with one car which loops around the car number 88 spinning around.
That is David Elliott from Woodstock, Georgia.
David takes a pretty good shot in the wall, brings the car back to rest. 35-year-old David Elliott in the Finney Racing Pontiac. So while we're under caution for the 3rd time today, we'll take this break and come back with more green flag racing from Talladega after this. Superspeedway started today's Poulan Pro 500-kilometer event. Coming up next, the 23rd annual Winston 500, Winston Cup race number 9 on the 29 race, $22 million tour. Ernie Irvin and Davey Allison on the front row for that one. That should be exciting. That's coming up next live at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Our leaders just pitting moments ago. Here is Charlie Glotzback, Ned, making his way down pit road under the caution flag.
Yeah, he waited as long as he could under the caution. Normally, when a caution comes out, we'll see them dive into the pits the very first lap that they can, but they waited till the last lap before the green flag is about to come out because they figure it's going to be close from here on as far as fuel is concerned. You can see Glotzback only taking on fuel. One of the crew members looking at the tires, another one cleaning the windshield while they put the gas in. And Glotzback is away, and we're about ready to go green flag racing.
Getting set to go back to green, Andy Hillenberg, 29 years of age, turned 29 just a couple of days ago here in the later part of the week at Talladega. Will lead the charge down.
He got out of the pits first, and he's off to a good start here. Drafting on the car number 16 of Roy Payne. Now he moved around him. So Hillenberg way out in front. That yellow car of Venturini that we see back there, the 4th car in line, is in 2nd place. And then the car number 42, Kim Campbell, is running in 3rd place at the moment. Then comes Bob Keselowski. So we're seeing some drivers up front that we haven't seen in the top 5, but it is as a result of pit stops. Now these cars pitted, Jerry, as soon as the caution came out. When the pits were open, they came on in and pitted, and that has put them up front. They're doing a good job now staying up there. And it looks like we have a report that maybe the windshield is cracked on Hillenberg's car. Not slowing down any, though.
Not at all. Not at all. A tremendous run by Andy Hillenberg at Daytona in the season opener. He started way back in 20th spot, finished 10th, got a good top 10 finish. That's the car owned by Ken Schrader and being crewed by Tim Kohut. That's the machine right there, the white and red numeral car number 58.
And look who's on the sponsor on the hood of that car we saw there a moment ago, Neil Bonnet Honda. So here in Alabama, you see him coming at you there now, so Neil Bonnet helping out those fellas a little bit.
Andy Hillenberg, an instructor at the Fast Track Racing School. And a couple of Winston Cup events last year in Rockingham at Atlanta. Stretching out a pretty good lead over the 2nd place car of Bill Venturini. Venturini running in 2nd in the car number 25. Then comes the car number 42, Kim Campbell out of Houston, Texas, in the Highway Master Chrysler.
And Keselowski running in the 4th position. And 5th now being shown as Glotzback as he makes his way back up through the track.
Glotzback now pulling in. He goes around Keselowski pulling in on Campbell. Campbell driving a Chrysler. He's the sort of yellow car in the middle of your screen. That's the car he purchased from Donnie Moran, finished 4th here a year ago. And Glotzback just moves to the outside. Looks like it's going to be pretty easy, but not quite yet. Well, he does go by, but he has to stop and pull in line behind Bill Venturini.
That car is strong, Glotzback. Watch him go by Venturini up on the outside, or at least he's going to attempt to. Now Venturini moves up, and he wants to lead this race.
Andy Hillenburg trying to hold on, but he just can't quite do it. As Venturini, now Glotzback, now Campbell, and possibly even Keselowski go by Andy Hillenburg, who sits there helplessly and watches himself go from the lead back to pit spot. Let's check in on the Andy Hillenburg pit.
Jerry, I'm here with crew chief Timmy Cahoot, who at Daytona told me that Andy was the best rookie he'd ever worked with. He was out there leading the race. Did you have to keep him calm there?
No, we're not having to keep him calm here. He's doing pretty good on his own. Doesn't really look like a rookie some of the times.
I tell you, you're moving around. You look like you're pretty excited.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good for Neil Bonnet there in the Neil Bonnet movement today. So we'll see what we can do.
That's a very excited Timmy Cahoot. You couldn't tell that Andy has just been moved back a few spaces. He's still really happy with the run.
Gotta be smiling, but he's still losing a few spots back there now as a couple of cars beginning to move in on him.
Well, he's done a good job. He stayed in the lead lap all day and had a chance to lead a few laps there. So he's, for the limited amount of experience that he has, doing a great job. We've seen a lot of drivers with limited experience today doing a good job here.
Well, Kenny Schrader helping a fellow open-wheel driver who came out of the open-wheel dirt cars. The engine in that car came from Charlie Seeger's an old Rick Hendrick machine and running awfully well. Charlie Glotzback back up at the point, being shown as the leader. Venturini, Campbell in second. Here's the battle back in the pack is Jeff Purvis in the car number 1. That's the white car. You see him trying to make a move there in turn 3. Inside, Bob Keselowski.
Purvis was the last car to come out of the pits, Jerry, so he's made a good move coming back up through the pack. Now, see that gold and white car, the one in the back there? That's Red Farmer. He's still hanging in there, right up there in the lead lap. He is in 11th position. John, he's doing okay in his last race here in Talladega.
He is doing all right. You know, I didn't want to mislead people. He's not giving up racing altogether. Just after this race in Daytona next February, he's giving up the big tracks. In fact, tonight, across the street at Talladega Short Track, Red is going to run a 50-lap dirt track race, and he says he still enjoys that. In fact, he would prefer to continue racing on the big tracks, but he says getting too much pressure from home. We all know what that means.
Red Farmer has been racing for 43 years. Now, he won't tell anybody how old he is. He's driving that car number 69 there. But yesterday in the Winston Cup garage area, Richard Petty was sort of holding court with some of the media, and Red walked up, and Richard said, I think we ought to tell him, Red. I said, yeah, let's tell him. Richard said, well, I'm going to retire for this year, and you're going to drive my car next year. We're going to run for Rookie of the Year. So a couple of veterans. Red Farmer has been driving for about 4 decades. Enjoying a lot of short track races and a lot of wins, over 700 career victories, making his final appearance on a super speedway now here in the state of Alabama.
He is something, no question about it. I believe when John talked about him at the top of the show, he said that his career spreads into 5 decades. So he's been racing 43 years. That could be very possible. Started, I guess, in the late 40s. And ran along. Look at it, boy. He hasn't lost anything right up there on that outside. Trying to go by Bobby Bowser.
Red is driving a car that's owned by Lucky Compton. In fact, it's in memory of Lucky Compton, owned by Kenny Compton, Lucky's son, and Lucky's widow, Joyce. Was Lucky Compton, a longtime ARCA car owner who lost his life. And after a heart attack, the day after the Daytona 500s, this car sort of came out of retirement to run one final race in memory of the late Lucky Compton. Side by side for 5th spot, Keselowski in the car number 29. That's the Chrysler, and of course, he's the current point leader in ARCA competition. On the inside of him, a good run for the car number 89, Jeff McClure, the Harrisburg, North Carolina driver in the Superior Performance Chevrolet.
Now, this car number 12 we're seeing up there, Jerry, he's being shown as a lap down. That's Clifford Allison. But he's running right with the leaders there. He's in 12th position, but is a lap down. And you can see the Red Farmer has been ramping him for several laps now. He feels comfortable with him because he's worked with the Allison family, Davey. And, of course, Clifford is Davey's brother. And so he knows what he's capable of doing.
And Clifford has had 2 pretty good starts in 1992. Finished 5th at Daytona and 2nd at Texas. We'll be back with more green flag racing action from Talladega after this. Stay with us. The 4th time today for an erupted engine on the Bobby Massey-owned Buick, car number 67. Our top 10, Bobby Bowser, Kim Campbell, Jeff McClure, Bob Keselowski, and Red Farmer is 5th. 6 through 10, Loy Allen, Jeff Purvis, Andy Hillenburg, Charlie Glotzback, and Bill Venturini. And the reason these guys are not in the top 3 or 4 is because they have made pit stops under the caution flag. Just moments ago, Charlie Glotzback came down pit road.
Yeah, they took on a little bit of fuel just to be sure they had enough, Jerry. Didn't want to take any chances here.
They changed 4 tires. You see David Smith sliding a jack beneath the right side of the car. That's Mike Hill from the Budweiser team changing the right side tires. They changed all 4 tires on that car. Let's check in and see exactly why they pitted as John Kernan is standing by with Cecil Gordon.
Well, Cecil, you've come in and pitted. You gave up the lead to come in and take on 4 tires and gasoline. Why?
Well, we knew that the tires would probably make it, but Charlie had mentioned that it had just a little bit of vibration in the car, and I feel like the car's fast enough that we could take the time to put 4 on and get back to the front with 30 laps to go here.
Okay, thank you, Cecil.
30 laps remain in this 500-kilometer event. Lap 87 of 117, comprising this Poulan Pro 500-kilometer event at Talladega Superspeedway.
Hey, the green flag. We're ready to roll again here, Jerry. 30 laps to go.
That red car on the inside was Clifford Allison trying to get a lap back. That's the car number 12, the Buick that's owned by his father, Bobby.
But, Jerry, the only 2 cars that didn't pit are Bobby Bowser and the car number 42 of Kim Campbell. Neither of those cars made pit stops. Benny, why?
Well, Ned, the Bowsers decided they was going to gamble 51 laps to go. They had to run 51 laps on the green. They felt like they could comfortably run 50 laps. It was a gamble for 1 lap. The caution flag came out. They run 4 or 5 laps under the caution. You know, they figured that they saved them 2 or 3 laps. They could comfortably run the rest of the way. Why give up track position when you don't have to? They're leading the race. These guys got to catch them and got to pass them.
Good point. Well, we'll see if it works. But here comes the pack back in there. One of those black cars is Charlie Glotzback. He's just looking for a place to go there. Makes it 4 deep. He's going to... No, he says, that's not smart. Let me back out of here. I got too good for a race car. Won't take a chance like that. And boy, was he smart.
That's Loy Allen. That's indeed. That's Loy Allen Jr. on the inside. The car number 2. Jeff McClure, the 89 in the middle. And the white car on the outside is Jeff Purvis. And you see Glotzback, just as you said, Ned, backing off, saying this is going to be one heck of a wreck in front of me. I'm going to try to stay back out of the way. Let these guys at least get cleared out a little bit, and then I'll pass them and pick them off. And Glotzback down to the outside as Loy Allen stays on the inside. And now Glotzback is the outside of the 3 wide sandwich in turn 3.
Yeah, he was hoping to pick up the draft of Purvis and draft right on past him, but he couldn't quite do it. Didn't get up there as far as he needed to, so he's fortunate this track is very wide, so they can run 3 wide. So he stayed up there, kept his groove up there, maybe even backed off a little bit going into turn 3, but now he's back on the top again, back up there with Purvis.
Sliding by the Bob Keselowski machine. Charlie Glotzback won here last July, also won in July of 1990. Won the last 2 late summer events here and going by on the high side.
Yeah, he saw Purvis come up behind Red Farmer, and there was Clifford Allison. So the Glotzback said, hey, I believe there's going to be a better route to run up here on the top side. So he moves up there. It worked for him.
Red Farmer slipping up a little bit. He's the car number 69. He's trying to hold off the challenge of Jeff Purvis. Purvis now moving up to the wide side of the racetrack.
As you can see, it wasn't very far up there to the leaders. Bobby Bowser still leading. Kim Campbell running in 2nd place, but here comes Glotzback in 3rd.
And a cluster of cars back there, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, including some of the lap cars. The red car there is Clifford Allison. You see Red Farmer going to the inside. Keselowski is there. Loy Allen is there.
Those 10 drivers that we saw on the screen when we came back are the only ones that are in the lead lap. Clifford Allison being shown in his 11th place, 1 lap down.
Bobby Bowser trying to hold off Charlie Glotzback. Bowser, remember, did not pit. Glotzback has 4 fresh tires on that Chevrolet Lumina. Cecil Gordon, you heard just a moment ago from him. John Kernan talking to them and explaining why they pitted and put some fresh rubber on that car.
Jerry, I'm sure many of the fans looking in will remember when Cecil Gordon drove in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. It's been quite a while, but he was a regular competitor for many, many years.
In fact, Cecil finished 3rd here in the 1970 ARCA Vulcan 500. So he ran awfully well in an ARCA event here. Now a regular shop foreman and crew chief on ARCA race days for Charlie Glotzback.
See Glotzback in 2nd, Kim Campbell running in 3rd place in the yellow number 42, and We're looking to see if we see something. We have reports that there might be something stuck in the grill of his car as Jeff Purvis comes up. Yeah, it looks like there might be a little piece of paper or something over there. Don't think that'll affect him too much, though, but you can see that white streak across the grill.
That's Kim Campbell out of Houston, Texas, 38 years of age, 4-time SCCA champion in Formula Ford and Formula V's. Most of his racing has been done in open wheel competition. In fact, he set on the pole at Phoenix last year in an ARS Indy Lights machine. Has run one Winston Cup race, that coming last year at Watkins Glen. Lotsback now moving ever so close to Bobby Boucher. And give young Boucher quite a call. He has held Glotzback off. He has that car, that throttle hammered to the floor. Kim Campbell now running right on the rear deck of Glotzback, and there's Jeff Purvis in 4th position.
Well, Bobby's going to make Glotzback go high if he's going to pass it. He has been running low most of the day, and his Ford has worked well down there. So he's going to make Glotzback try to take that high line. And looks like Glotzback's going to do it.
Glotzback sliding just around on the outside. Boucher does not want to give up the inside groove. He better think twice, but here they come together, headed to turn 1.
And here comes Campbell. He had a notion to go up on the outside. He decided that wasn't too smart. And here comes Purvis down on the inside of Campbell. It looks like Campbell's back end might have got loose for just a moment there. Bowser would do well to hook right on the back bumper of Charlie Glotzback there and try to pull away from them, but no, he's going to race him down into turn 3. He said, I believe I can beat him into this corner. Let's see if he can. Well, he had a nose out in front going in there. But boy, you lose speed. You're running a stopwatch. When they get side by side like this, they'll drop off a half a second to sometimes a second to lap when they get side by side.
Bobby Boucher hugging that inside groove coming out of turn 4, and now the draft will take its toll on Boucher. He is down with no one to push a hole through the wind, and he flies back now, 2nd, 3rd. He could lose even possibly 4th or 5th spot.
Yeah, he had a little opening the last time around, Jerry, going into the turn. He could have dropped in behind Glotzback, but he chose to race with him down into turn 3, and my personal opinion is that was a mistake.
So Charlie Glotzback, after that pit stop during the 4th caution flag today, with 4 fresh tires, finds his way back to the front, and is now our leader once again at Talladega. Back with more ARCA competition after this. Superspeedway, the top 10 after 101 laps complete. Charlie Glotzback, no surprise, our leader. Jeff McClure, good run for the youngster. Bobby Boucher is 3rd. Bill Venturini, and the veteran Red Farmer is 5th. 6 through 10, Loy Allen Jr., Bob Keselowski, Andy Hillenberg, Kim Campbell, and Jeff Purvis. Remember, coming up next, live flag-to-flag coverage of the NASCAR Winston 500 from Talladega, Alabama, the 23rd annual Winston 500. Can the Ford win streak be clipped at 12? You'll see all the action here, flag-to-flag, coming up next with Bob Jenkins and all of our Speedwall crew at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And, Jerry, those 10 cars we saw, there are the only cars that are on the lead lap now as we get down towards the finish of this race.
Pontiac safety car getting ready to pull away. Looking off lap number 102 this time by. Just 15 laps remain in this 500-kilometer event.
Jeff Purvis is the last car on the lead lap. He's back pretty far in the white car number 1. He made a pit stop, a couple of pit stops as a matter of fact, but he took on 4 tires. We'll see what that'll do for him. He gave up a lot of track position, but he felt he needed those new tires, so we'll see if he's able to come back up through.
Charlie Glotzback pulling away. He's in the car to the left of your screen. Behind him, Jeff McClure. There's Bobby Boucher, the car number 21. Behind him, Bill Venturini. In 45 machine. That's Roy Payne down on the inside, the car number 16. He is a lap down.
And so is the car number 12, the red car number 12 of Clifford Allison. He is a lap down also. He is currently being shown in the 11th position.
Bobby Boucher now makes a move inside of Bill Venturini. Boucher in the car number 21.
In the yellow, car number 25. And Red Farmer in the gold and white. Ford number 69 is running in the 5th position.
For you regular ARCA fans who probably don't recognize the car number 21, a new color scheme this year, brand new sponsor, the Quality Farm and Fleet sponsored Ford Thunderbird of Bobby Boucher. Currently in 3rd spot. He begins to make a move now on Jeff McClure for 2nd. Bobby says those sponsors own 65 stores in the Midwest, sort of a general store for farmers. Everything from fence posts to overalls.
paint scheme similar to the Wood Brothers Pit Go Ford that runs in the Winston Cup Series. Morgan Shepherd, the driver.
Very attractive paint scheme on that car number 21 for Bobby Boucher. Glotzback the leader. Jeff McClure running in second spot. Boucher is third. Venturini fourth.
Jerry mentioned that we have 10 cars on the lead laps, and I'm sure that the fans remember that T.W. Taylor was one of those cars on the lead lap not too long ago, but he had to park his car, had heat exhaustion, and so he is out of the race. That's why we have 10 cars as opposed to 11 cars on the lead lap. We haven't seen that car of Jeff Purvis. There he came into the right side of the screen, but he hasn't made much progress. He has picked up one position since the green flag reflew, but those 4 tires haven't helped him that much so far.
Single file racing back into pack. You see Purvis to the right side of your screen, the white car with the red roof, the last car on that lead draft. Those cars all drafting together right behind the 42 car of Kim Campbell. Purvis really sliding inside, then outside. Coming up in turn 2. Kim Campbell now takes the throttle down to the inside. Purvis will tuck in behind the Andy Hillenberg machine. Hillenberg now being shown in 7th spot. Purvis is 8th. And Kim Campbell slides back to 9th position. All those cars are on the lead lap. The black car in front of the 58, that's Bob Keselowski.
Well, they really zipped by camera position off turn 4. One of the fastest places on the racetrack as it goes past the start-finish line into turn 1.
Got to give a call to Jeff McClure, the second place car number 89. Jeff McClure, limited background in superspeedway racing, only his 3rd ever ARCA start. It's his first time ever to come to this racetrack. In his very first start here, he's running second with a chance to win this thing with less than 15 laps to go.
I'll tell you, that's impressive. The Superior Performance Chevrolet.
The car is owned by Yvonne Howard from Birmingham, Alabama. Evan Howard, I should say, the Chevrolet Lumina. An old Rick Hendrick car that Cyril Vandermeer drove for Rick Hendrick up at Watkins Glen a couple of years ago.
There we see Jeff Purvis and Andy Hillenberg. And the car number 42 of Kim Campbell. Purvis' car, he has several times today, Jerry, has come from back in the pack after making pit stops, but this time he has not been able to get back up there. He came in a second time during that caution period. He changed 4 tires and he came back in to change the left side tires again. So I don't know if he had a vibration or what the problem might have been, but he's definitely not making the move back to the front that we thought he would. But he has lots of fast cars in front of it, too.
Indeed. Remember, we mentioned at the top of the show there have been 3 different winners in the first 3 events in 1992 in ARCA, and none of the top 5 cars right now, drivers, have won this year. So we definitely could see our 4th different face in victory lane.
I think that's a very definite possibility. Did you see McClure follow Glotzback as Glotzback tried to break that draft when you got in that traffic back there, but McClure was heads up and followed him right through there and stayed in the draft.
Laps are winding down here at Talladega Superspeedway. Should be quite a shootout as 9 cars are in the lead lap. We'll be back with the finish of this 500-kilometer event after this. The SuperCar Series action, as always, fast and furious here on the high banks. 33-degree banking. And charging Charlie Glotzback, trying to pick up win number 3 at Talladega. But he's got his hands full right now. A challenge from a couple of young drivers. Bobby Boucher, that number 21 car back there, and Jeff McClure in second spot.
Running in 4th place is Bill Venturini. Red Farmer still in 5th. Hanging right in there. The 6th place car is Roy Allen Jr. Still doing a great job, hanging right there. You can see the leader up there, not too far in front of him.
Bob Keselowski being shown in 7th position, and then the white car with the red roof, 8th. That is Jeff Purvis.
And then in 9th, of course, is Andy Hillenberg, and 10th is the car number 42 of Kim Campbell.
A little history on that car number 28, which is currently our leader. That Chevrolet Lumina that Richard Childress sold to Floyd Garrett was the very first Lumina that was built as a Winston Cup race car. In fact, I was told by some of the people in the shop there that built that car number 28, they built that car from pictures, not from even having a prototype to look at.
Here's Jeff Purvis now trying to make a move up on the outside, trying to move around the Roy Allen car. number 2. Purvis just hopes that Keselowski will move up there behind him. That's Keselowski in the black car with the gold numerals. The car number 2 of Allen almost got into the side of Jeff Purvis, but they didn't make contact. Now Allen decides it's time to get it behind him and let him go ahead and have that position for the time being.
Maybe take advantage of a little bit of Jeff Purvis's experience on this racetrack. Purvis has had 2 pretty good finishes here last year. In fact, 2 years ago, he finished 2nd and 5th in both the Talladega ARCA events, 1990.
Jerry, it's time that the jockeying starts. We got about 6 laps to go when we come back to the start-finish line. So everybody's going to start jockeying for that position. They know they need to be up there in the top 3 if they're going to have any chance at winning this race.
Charlie Glotzback, a lot of experience up there, realizing he's got a lesser experienced driver behind him in Jeff McClure, Bobby Voucher, who's run pretty well on the speedways. And here's Bob Keselowski, the current point leader. He is off the pace, and his car is slowing now in the banking of turn 2. That's the Chrysler LeBaron, current ARCA Series point leader, Bob Keselowski, and that will cost him a chance at victory. Also cost him possibly the point lead.
Yeah, and you see the smoke coming from it, Jerry. Apparently something wrong with the engine. That's too bad. Let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Well, then what we're hearing down here is his motor may have blown. The oil pressure gauge just went haywire. Keselowski just radioed in. He's going to coast around back into the pits. But the indication we are is the motor has blown.
Yeah, that's what it appears like. Even though he seems to have a little bit of power, he might try to ride around out there. No, he's going to come on into the pits. I thought he might stay out there. No, he is going to stay out there and try to get as many laps as he can and try to keep that point lead.
Jeff Purvis now beginning to move and loses control and tags the wall coming off of turn 2. You see him trying to avoid maybe getting back in a draft. He has tagged the wall and hit it a ton as the car continues to spin down that 4,000-foot backstretch. Heavy damage on the front of that Ford Thunderbird. And Loy Allen Jr., the 26-year-old driver from Raleigh, North Carolina, will bring out caution number 6 with less than 5 laps to go. And here is the battle back to the caution flag. Charlie Glotzback will lead them by as they come out. Here is Purvis.
Real battle for 3rd, and Purvis got it.
That was Purvis, Jeff McClure, and Bill Sweeney for the caution. What's left of the front end, the front hood. Let's take a look again coming off turn 2 so you can see what happened on the right side of your picture.
Okay, he got just a little high there. He was in the draft of Purvis, came down almost. He might have tagged Red Farmer just a little bit, but it shot the front end back around and straight into the wall. And the pieces fly, and the car keeps spinning round and round.
Take a look from a different angle. We can see once again the car just gets a little bit out of shape. That's Purvis, the 1 car, Red Farmer, the 69, and the 2 car just starting to spin.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just made slight contact with Red Farmer's car when he tried to pull it down off of the wall there, Jerry. There was a lot of air turbulence. When you come off of the turn, you have 3 cars running that close together. There's a lot of air turbulence there, and he just got caught up in a situation. He couldn't see the air, what was happening to it, and it made his car react differently than when he normally comes off. Here it is again. See Farmer down on the inside, Purvis up on the outside, and he runs up on him in a hurry. He really runs up there. He picks up the draft of Purvis in a hurry and runs up on him quicker than he thought he was going to be able to, and loses control.
Let's check in the pits with John Kernan.
Jerry, I just talked to Mark Tudor, the crew chief. He has talked to Loy on the radio. Loy says he is okay. He says that what happened, cars had just a little bit of push most through the day, and he said he just went in too high and got into some of the loose stuff and smacked the wall. He is okay. That's the good news. But we talked about him learning a lesson today. This is one of those expensive lessons that you have to learn, and because this is their only car, so they are very disappointed right now.
Well, Ned, you hit the nail on the head. You said in the last few laps of this race is where experience will pay off, and you'll see that cream rise to the top. We'll be back with the final few laps of this ARCA 500-kilometer event from Talladega after this. 6th caution flag of the day complete. Pace car pulls in, and we'll get back to green flag racing action. In fact, we'll look for the green flag and possibly the white flag as the leaders come down out of turn 4. Yes, indeed. Green and white. 1 lap. It's a 1-lap sprint with 9 cars in the lead lap, and Charlie Glotzback is going to try to hold them off.
Yeah, he'll try his best to hold them off. He's off to a good start, Jerry. He got at least a a car length or so on Bobby Bowser. Bowser hanging in there. Here's Jeff Purvis, who picked up 3 positions as he came back to the flag, as they raced back to the flag. Here's Bowser, though, moving up close to Glotzback.
Chevrolet, Ford, and Oldsmobile, first, second, and third. Glotzback, Bowsher, and Purvis. 4,000 foot back straightaway. They are a mile from, a mile and a half from the checkered flag.
Purvis going very high. You say a prayer here. That's about all you can do.
Bobby Bowsher trying to pick up his first ever Super Speedway win. Glotzback pulls to the inside, trying to block the line from Bowsher. They come through the
And
trial.
there's a crash behind them, but as they come to the start-finish line, Glotzback's going to win it.
Charlie Glotzback takes the victory. You see some of the crew. These cars now collecting each other, beating and banging at least 4, maybe 5 cars, 6 cars
5 or 6 cars involved. There's the 04 car.
Bobby Woods out of Poulan, Nevada. He was one of the cars involved. Guys was the car number 91 of Keith Newbert from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
And I believe Andy Hillenberg was up there. I saw a white car up there early in the crash, and I believe he was one of those that was up there as well. He's coming to the start-finish line now. Indeed, it was Andy Hillenberg. He will finish in the lead lap. There were 9 cars on the lead lap at the end.
So that wild scramble for 1 lap, going back to green flag racing. And Charlie Glotzback, 53 years of age, from Sellersburg, Indiana, takes the Poulan Pro sponsored Chevrolet Lumina to victory lane. We'll be back to talk with Charlie Glotzback and all the crew at victory lane after this. Poulan Pro 500-kilometer ARCA Supercar Series event from Talladega Superspeedway is history. And 53-year-old Chargin' Charlie Glotzback has gone to victory lane. And the financing to get it. And by Fram oil filters. Fram, you can pay a little now or a lot later. Let's check in down in victory lane, where a very happy driver is standing by with our John Kernan.
Charlie Glotzback has climbed in his car, gotten a cool drink on a warm day, and it was really a tough race. You had to work for it, didn't you?
Yeah, we worked all day long here. You know, Bowser and Purvis, and first, like I said, while I go first one, and the other was right on my back bumper. Every time I looked in the mirror, there was one of them jammed up there. And I tried to get away from them all day, and we just couldn't do it. They was just stuck there like glue.
That's Charlie Glotzback, who's won 3 of the last 4 races he's entered here at Talladega.
This is 8th career win, John, overall in ARCA competition. And Ed, this final lap scramble involved a major crash in the tri-oval involving at least a half a dozen cars.
Yeah, among those were Bobby Woods, Andy Hillenberg, Keith Newbern, Roy Payne, and Clay Young.
So that affected the finishing order. Let's take a look at the finishing order now. 42 cars started. Charlie Glotzback goes to victory lane. Bobby Boucher, good finishing in 2nd. Jeff Purvis, Bill Venturini, and Jeff McClure in 5th spot. Red Farmer comes home in 6th. Kim Campbell, Andy Hillenberg, Bob Keselowski, and Clifford Allison rounding out the top 10.
And we see Richie Petty there coming in 12th place. Good run for him. Roy Payne finished 15th.
Some shuffling will take place in the ARCA point standings after this, the 4th stop on the 21-race $2 million tour. Exciting ARCA action coming your way from the high banks at Talladega. And don't forget, coming up next, right here on ESPN Live, flag-to-flag coverage, the 23rd annual Winston 500. And we'll see if possibly Ernie Irvan can put General Motors in victory lane for the first time since September of 1991. For John Kernan, Benny Parsons, and Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Punch saying congratulations to Charlie Glotzback and so long from Talladega.